the Victorian era birthplace of modern sports. 19th century Britain under the reign of Queen Victoria was a time of great social and industrial change. This period, known as the Victorian era, witnessed the rise of a new middle class with time for leisure. This newfound leisure time, coupled with a growing emphasis on physical fitness, created a fertile ground for the development of organized sports. Football, in its various forms, had existed for centuries, but it was during this era that it began to take on its modern shape. Before the Victorian era, football was a chaotic and often violent affair. There were few codified rules, and matches could involve hundreds of players. These folk football games were more akin to mob battles than organized sport. However, with the rise of public schools and universities in the 19th century, football began to undergo a transformation. Public schools, attended by the sons of the elite, played a crucial role in this transformation. They saw organized sports as a way to instill discipline, teamwork, and a sense of fair play in their students. As a result, they began to codify the rules of football, leading to the emergence of distinct variations of the game. Public schools and university. The cradle of football, each public school developed its own set of rules, leading to a wide variety of playing styles. Some schools, like rugby, favored a game where the ball could be carried and players could tackle opponents. Others, like Eton, preferred a game focused on kicking and dribbling. This diversity of rules created a confusing landscape for the sport. The need for a unified set of rules became increasingly apparent, especially as students from different schools went on to university. In 1848, a group of students from Cambridge University met to establish a common set of rules that could be used for intercollegiate matches. This meeting, held at Trinity College, Cambridge, proved to be a landmark moment in the history of football. The resulting Cambridge rules, though not the first attempt to codify the game, were significant for several reasons. They emphasized passing and dribbling over carrying the ball, laying the foundation for the passing game that characterizes modern football. Furthermore, the Cambridge rules introduced the concept of a defined playing area, a marked departure from the open fields of folk football. These rules, though initially intended for use within Cambridge University, quickly spread to other universities and schools. The Football Association, FA, formed in London in 1863, adopted a modified version of the Cambridge rules, further solidifying their influence on the game. The FA's adoption of these rules marked the birth of association football as we know it. The Cambridge Rules, 1848, a turning point. The Cambridge Rules were revolutionary for their time. They introduced several key elements that would shape the future of football. One of the most significant innovations was the emphasis on passing the ball. While previous versions of the game often devolved into chaotic scrums, the Cambridge Rules encouraged players to move the ball with their feet, leading to a more fluid and tactical game. Another key element was the introduction of a defined playing area. By marking out a pitch with boundaries, the Cambridge Rules created a more structured and strategic environment. This innovation forced players to think more carefully about positioning and movement, adding a new layer of complexity to the game. The rules also addressed the issue of violence, which had plagued earlier forms of football. The Cambridge Rules outlawed carrying the ball, except by the goalkeeper, hacking, kicking an opponent in the shins, and tripping. These changes aimed to create a fairer and more enjoyable game for all involved. The Cambridge Rules, despite their limitations, represented a pivotal step towards the modern game. They provided a foundation upon which future generations would build, codifying the basic principles of passing, dribbling, and teamwork that still define football today. As Section 4, Global Impact, from England to the world. The impact of the Cambridge Rules extended far beyond the confines of university campuses. They spread rapidly throughout England, carried by students who had played under these rules and who sought to establish clubs in their hometowns. As the game grew in popularity, so did the influence of the Cambridge Rules. The formation of the Football Association, or FA, in 1863 was a watershed moment. The FA, seeking to standardize the rules of the game, adopted a modified version of the Cambridge Rules, which formed the basis of the first official laws of the game. These laws, published in 1863, were instrumental in shaping the future of football. The FA's adoption of the Cambridge rules gave them a legitimacy and authority that helped to spread their influence. As the birthplace of modern football, England played a key role in disseminating the game to other parts of the world. Sailors, merchants and soldiers introduced football to new lands where it was often embraced with enthusiasm. By the early 20th century, football had become a truly global phenomenon, with leagues and associations springing up across Europe, South America and beyond. While the rules of the game have evolved over time, the fundamental principles established by the Cambridge rules remain at the heart of modern football. Section 5. Conclusion. A legacy that continues. The birth of football as we know it was the culmination of various social, cultural and historical forces. The Industrial Revolution, the rise of public schools and the Victorian emphasis on physical fitness all played a part. However, the development of the Cambridge rules in 1848 stands out as a pivotal moment in this journey. The legacy of the Cambridge rules is evident every time a football match is played anywhere in the world. The emphasis on passing, teamwork and fair play, enshrined in those early rules, continues to shape the beautiful game today. From the bustling streets of Rio de Janeiro to the manicured pitches of the English Premier League, the spirit of the Cambridge rules lives on. The Cambridge rules, though a product of their time, transcended their historical context. They provided a blueprint for a game that has captured the hearts and minds of billions worldwide. The next time you watch a football match, take a moment to appreciate the legacy of those Cambridge students who, in 1848, helped to shape the future of the beautiful game.